page 636. Yedid nefesh av harachaman meshoch avdecha el retzonecha yarutz avdecha kemo Bottom of 636. Higalena ufros habibi ala etzukat shelomecha ta'i
Shabbat Shalom. So we were just singing this beautiful love song to God, describing ourselves as being like a deer, like thirsty to drink, wanting so much in our souls to be close to the Holy One. And tonight we begin the month of Elul. The month of Elul is the month before Rosh Hashanah, and we know this month is the month, well, in which rabbis panic. That's what it's, most famous for. I feel like Chazanim have it more together. I don't know.
Chazanim panic during Tammuz, just on
sure.
a different track.
Sure. But no, we know this is a month in which we start to turn toward our souls. We start to inquire with some sensitivity and inward-looking subtlety about the state of our souls. How are we? What has this year been for our inner state? How far away are we from where we want to be, where we should be, where our heart tells us we really are meant to be? And ultimately we'll get into, I hope all of us will get into Cheshbon HaNefesh, this accounting of the soul, which includes really looking at, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? What should have been different? And what do I want to change? What do I want to apologize for? What do I want to repair? What are the broken places that I could heal? In me, between me and others, in my world, in our world. But it all starts with love. And sometimes that piece gets lost. If you approach this month from a place of harshness, well, even in terrible circumstances where harshness might be, we might think deserved, if we're able to bring that kind of sharp awareness in a context of loving kindness, it is much more likely to have effect. Just beating ourselves up rarely gets us where we want to go. And it's possible to do really significant change without beating yourself up at all, without any harshness at all. And so it starts from love. This love poem is the kind of feeling it starts from. And in fact, the word Elul, many people know, many people don't. The word Elul, Aleph Lamed Vav Lamed, the rabbi said that stands for Ani Ledodi Vedodi Li. I am my beloved's and my beloved is mine. Meaning God. Meaning our source. Meaning the one we belong to, the one presence in which we can be totally true, unvarnished, raw, real, imperfect, and in which we can seek our home. And so, that whole process begins tonight. And the one thing I hope you will remember is that it has to start with love. So let us generate some love tonight. Let's bring it inward. Love this imperfect being right here. And that's how we can love outward too. So we're going to sing the songs we sing to welcome Shabbat that the Kabbalists set up for us, the Psalms, in which we remember all the things that are good as they are, all the reasons that we can just rejoice and rest in the day of rest. Let it be infused with love. And as you turn toward looking inward, see how much love you can bring to that look.
Page 130, in the lower right, choose the number in brackets. Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariya letzor yishenu nekadem afanav v'todah Naria lo alanaya ananaya ananaya השמיים ותגל הארץ ירם הים ומלאו יעלו סיני וכל אשר בו אז ירננו כל הצייר לפני אדוני אדוני מלך תגל הארץ ישמחו עם רבים ענן וערפל סביבם צדק ומשפט בכל כיסו אוהבי אדוני שנאו רע שומר נפשות חסידיו מיד רשעים יצילם כל זרו על הצדיק ולישמעאל שמחה שמחו צדיקים באדוני והודו לזכר קודשו 133 מזמור שירו לאדוני שיר חדש כי נפלאות עשה הושיע לו ימינו זרוע קודשו הודיע אדוני ישועתו בעיני הגויים גילה צדקתו זכה חסדו ואמונתו ובית ישראל ראו כל אפסי הארץ את ישועת אלוהינו הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ פיצחו ורננו וזמנו זמרו לאדוני וכינור וכל זמרה בחצות ערות וכל שופר הריעו לפני המלך אדוני רם הים ומלואו תבל ויושר kiva yishpot haaretz yishpot tevel betzedek ve'amim be'mei sharim yanai 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 alai 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 135, 5 lines down. Yodu Shimecha Gadol Venora. Yodu Shimecha Gadol Venora. Kadoshu Kadoshu Kadoshu, Kadoshu, Yodu Shimcha, Yodu Shimcha, Gadol Venora, Yodu Shimcha, Gadol Venora, Kadoshu, 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 Yodu Shimecha, Gadol Venora, Yodu Shimecha. That last word, of course, Nora, is also Noraim, as in Yamim Noraim, the days of awe. Awe is how it's commonly translated. Many of us over the course of these last several weeks have been in different places whose vistas, whose sights, whose sounds and smells perhaps evoke in us a sense of awe in the place where we're at, the awe of the world around us in that place. So maybe as we enter this month of Elul and approach these days of awe, let's take these next few moments to sit with the idea of a place that brings us awe. Perhaps it was a place that we were. Perhaps it was outside. Perhaps it was inside. Perhaps it is where we are right now. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor vezachor beribur echad ishmi'anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad ushmo echad l'shem u'tiferet ve'litila lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likerat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha ki mekoha beracha meirosh mikerem nesucha sof מעשה ומחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה Verse 5 התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך גדול מאורי אורי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלי תקרא לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת Verse 8 ושמור תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי אל יעניש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה Bless you and your household בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה וגם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת A little bit more לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה Let's be seated, page 141, Psalm 93 Adonai malach legeuth lavesh lavesh Adonai oz hitazar Avtikon tevel baltimot Avtikon tevel baltimot Nachon kisacha meaz Neolam ata Naseu neharot Adonai Naseu neharot kulam Yiseu neharot doch yam mikolot mayim rabim adirim mishperei yam adir bamarom Adonai adir bamarom Adonai eidotecha ne'emnu me'od leveitecha nava kodesh Adonai leorech yamim Adonai leorech yamim mikolot mayim rabim adirim mishperei yam adir babarom Adonai adir bamarom Adonai.
This was an excellent week for debt forgiveness. It really was. You're gonna see. President Biden, as you may know, announced this week that he is forgiving student debt up to $10,000 for those who earn less than $125,000 per year, and $20,000 for those who received Pell Grants or are from low-income families. You may know or have read 45 million people in America owe $1.6 trillion in college loans. Student debt is the single biggest category of debt in America other than mortgages, more than car loans, more than credit card debt, more than other consumer debt. And because of the president's executive order, millions of borrowers who've been burdened by this debt, who may not earn enough income with their college degree to cover their needs and pay off those loans, will have the opportunity to save for the future, invest perhaps in a home, or simply experience the relief of a little bit of financial breathing room every month. The order also fulfills a core promise of the progressive agenda on which the president was elected. This is all well known. But what is less well known is that Biden's timing could not have been more perfect for the Jewish people. Let me tell you why. Not only is this the very week that Jews around the world read Parshat Re'eh in the book of Deuteronomy, which commands, Miketz Sheva Shanim Ta'aseh Shmita, every 7th year you shall practice the remission of debts. But also, 5782, the year that we are in, is the 7th year. It is the Shemitah year. We're in the year right now that the verse is describing. So we're in the year dedicated to debt forgiveness and in the week that commands it. I mean, we were just talking about, like, maybe he had a Jewish advisor. I don't know, but, like, wow, that couldn't be more perfect. Okay. As many critics have pointed out, however, college loan forgiveness doesn't touch the majority of Americans who haven't been to college. 62% of Americans do not have a bachelor's degree. And this dividing line is one of the most significant markers of poverty in our country. Only 4% of people with a college degree are living below the poverty line, compared to 25% of those without a college degree. Those who didn't go to college are 6 times more likely to be poor as those who graduated from college. This means that college loan forgiveness is primarily a measure for the middle class. There's nothing in Judaism to oppose student loan forgiveness, but the passage in this week's Parsha was not contemplating middle class debt. It was concerned with poverty. The Parsha goes on to say, Efes ki lo yiyeh becha evyon, ki yivarechecha Adonai. There shall be no destitute people among you, since your God Adonai will bless you. Then it goes on to say, Ki yevecha evyon me'echad achecha. If, however, there is a needy person among you, one of your brothers in any of the settlements in the land that your God Adonai is giving you, lo ta'ametz et levavcha, ve'lo tikpotz et yadecha, me'achicha havyon. Do not harden your heart or shut your hand against your needy kin. Rather, you must open your hand and lend whatever is sufficient to meet the need. Beware, lest you harbor the base thought. The 7th year, the year of remission, is approaching, so that you're mean and give nothing to your needy kin, who will cry out to Adonai against you, and you will incur guilt. Give readily and have no regrets when you do so, for in return your God Adonai will bless you in all of your efforts and in all of your undertakings, for there will never cease to be impoverished ones in your land. Which is why I command you, open your hand to the poor and the needy kin in your land. Note that in just a few verses, the Torah tells us that there will never be impoverished people in the land, because God's blessing will ensure that all will have what they need, that you must give readily if there are people who are needy and poor in your land, and that there will always be poor people in the land. Rabbi Shai Held argues that Deuteronomy chapter 15 is meant to present a counter-vision to Egypt, with Pharaoh's hardened heart and God's outstretched hand. Here, our hearts are never to be hardened like Pharaoh's against people who are poor, and it's our hands, not God's, that are meant to be outstretched. Similarly, the destitute person is described over and over again as our brother, as our sibling. We are meant to feel that they are kin, never to see them as an outsider or an other. Held teaches on this parsha, Rabbi Held, what Deuteronomy most passionately cares about is ensuring that even the most vulnerable members of the community are able to share in the blessings that God bestows. The people Israel are measured by whether the vulnerable members of society are able to enjoy those blessings. Extended poverty is a moral emergency. It flies in the face of the social vision of Deuteronomy. It cannot be allowed to stand. It is a mitzvah, a commandment, to build a society in which the poor are equal. End quote. I read a book this summer called The Tyranny of Merit. Perhaps you've read it or heard of it. In it, Michael Sandel argues that the meritocracy we live in, which was meant to be a significant improvement over the aristocracy it replaced, is its own tyranny. Most of the conversation about our meritocracy, Sandel points out, is about whether it truly is a meritocracy. Do people born into poverty and people in oppressed groups truly have an equal opportunity to succeed? Do all of our systems, from housing to healthcare to education, give people an equal opportunity to compete on the basis of merit? These are all valid questions, and the answer is no to basically all of them. But Sandel tells us that even if our system was perfectly fair, even if every person in this country had an equal chance of getting into an Ivy League school and reaping all of the benefits of such an education and the career prospects it affords, the system would not be just. Because a meritocracy is not a just system. Why is it just that people born with more academic talent or ability should live lives of comfort and those who are not good at school should face poverty? How is it moral to reward academically gifted people and punish those with less capacity for that particular activity? We're so busy unrigging a rigged system that we fail to see that the system itself doesn't actually make sense. Why should one's life outcomes be based on whether one is good at studying for tests or learning geometry or memorizing dates or writing a persuasive essay or being motivated to excel in school? Not everyone is good at that. Why should you have less to eat because you got bad report cards? And what is tyrannical about it, Sandel argues, is that we then also blame the losers for the outcome. And I don't mean losers, I mean like the people who didn't win the prize. In an aristocracy, if you weren't rich, you knew why. It's because you weren't born into a wealthy family, period. In our society, if you're poor, it's your own fault. That's what we tell people. Theoretically, you had every chance to succeed. You could have tried harder. You could have studied more, but you blew it. Or you just didn't have what it takes. You weren't smart enough. You weren't talented enough. You got what you deserved. Why is that deserved? This blaming of the victim leads those of us who've come out relatively on top to feel relatively unmotivated to help people who didn't. It makes us feel that we're better, superior, and that they're, well, a basket of deplorables. It can lead to contempt. The bottom line is that in a just society, everyone would have what they need, no matter what family they were born into, and no matter how good they were at math or reading or any particular measure. That is the vision of Deuteronomy chapter 15. Our world is full of God's blessing, the Torah tells us. So much so that no one ever needs to be poor, ever. It's up to us. It's up to us, the Torah commands, to ensure that everyone shares in God's blessings. Rabbi Shai Held says that is how we are measured. That is what we're commanded. That is how we're meant to live. And this Elul, let's turn toward that vision. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Page 144, we rise together. חיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה, ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה, בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושפחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד. Please be seated, page 148. ברוך אתה אדוני מלך העולם אשר ברא ואביו שערים ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו, בורא יום ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד, ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. 150. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה. תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. 154. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. 158. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה ליאנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי בד אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We come next on page 160 to Hashkivenu, and we turn our thoughts, our hearts to people we know, people we don't know, people in the world who need protection, people who are vulnerable right now and need maybe a roof over their heads, or maybe shelter from violence, whether that's war or other kinds, or maybe other ways of just being safe. As the sun sets tonight, we pray for everyone's protection and safety, including our own. And then we're going to turn from there to, I'll tell you the page later, but we're going to turn to Mishberach, and we'll think about people we know and care for and love who need healing. And we'll name them out loud in between the stanzas. But for now, Hashkivenu, and the prayer for safety and protection.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך, והגן בדנו, והסר מעלינו אויב תבל, וחרב ורעב ויגון, והרחק ממנו עוון והפשע, ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו, כי אל שומרנו ומצילנו אתה, כי אל חנון ורחום אתה, ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Page 371, Misha Berach.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
We pray for the people we name now. We pray together.
מי שברך אמותינו וכל הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We turn back to page 162 for the singing of the Shamaru, to be followed by silent prayer from 164 to 181. For now we rise, 162. בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המריד עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. Tune we learned last week. If you were here, sing it with me. continue with Aleinu L'Shabeach, the bottom of page 586. We rise together. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. The middle of 590. כי המלכות שלך היא ולעולמי עד תמלוך בכבוד ככתוב בתורתך אדוני
We always conclude our time together by bringing close to heart and mind the people we love whom we've lost. And after we complete our services this evening, we're going to head out to a Kiddush in the lobby that was sponsored by our members Aaron Kaufman and Heather Gershon in memory of their son, Bodhi. And we just remember him with fondness tonight on his birthday. If you are in the first week since the death of someone you love, if you're in Shiva, I invite you to rise and tell us who you're remembering. If you're in If this is Shloshim for you, the first 30 days since the death of someone you love, I invite you to rise and tell us who you're remembering. And if this is Shana, if you're in the first year since the death of someone you love, I invite you to rise and tell us. And if this is a yahrzeit for you, I invite you to rise and tell us who you're remembering. We rise as a community in company with the mourners in our midst. We remember these recent losses. Royce Schoenfeld Katzier, sister of Irvin Schoenfeld, sister-in-law of Pearl Schoenfeld. Linda Katz, sister-in-law of Jeanette Katz. Vicki Wepner, aunt of Jackie Schicker. Ruth Yavin, mother of Eyal Yavin, mother-in-law of Sue Yavin, and grandmother of Ela, Oren, and Eitan. Ira Judenfreund, father of Melissa Judenfreund, father-in-law of Lee Fogelson, and grandfather of Asher and Pearl. These yahrzeits: Sadie Altman, Charles Anderson, Francis Abrams Bender, Betty Berenbaum, Abraham Berger, William Brown, Muriel Brown, Gustav Bueller, Carrie Dahlman, Gela Dahlman, Jules Dahlman, Nathan Dahlman, Robert Drexler, Helen Doomy, Rose Epps, Harris Farber, Nathan Folkman, Hazel Fondler, Phyllis Fox Sternlieb, Rabbi Alfred Goodman, Joanne Graybow, Jacob Grossman, Eugene Gumanow, Bert Hoffman, Louis Jaffe, Michael Lesh, Charles Levin, Alexander Lind, Ernest Lowenwerter, Dr. Leon Luria, Estelle Marks, Robert Merker, Jeanette Metzger, Louis Pesso, Mildred Sabison, Morris Sassouli, Ann Schreiber, Kenneth Schuster, Bertram Schwimmer, Sylvia Shapiro, Jack Shaw, Leon Singer, Levi Smolar, Sadie Solomon, Raymond Spitalnik, Bernard Statman, Irma Tedeschi, Helen Gelber-Weeder, Robert Wanger. Holding them all together, we say, Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be an everlasting blessing, as we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam olalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shmei d'kudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya ve'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the maker of peace make peace for all who mourn. We say together, Amen.
Page 651.
נשמור לי על כל אלה ועל אהובי נפשי, על Where is your wife? Oh. Where is my wife?